thinking about moving to Mexico City, you've probably heard of neighborhoods like Condesa, Polanco, and Roma, which are the go-to spots for digital nomads and expats. But what if I told you that there are even better options? Charming neighborhoods that offer safety, walkability, but with a more local feel and better value for your money. Hello everybody, my name is Mariana, and today I'm going to show you why Del Valle, Narvarte, and Álamos are some of the best neighborhoods to live in Mexico City. And then not only that, we're going to talk about Mexico City, which is one of the most vibrant, culturally rich, and exciting cities in the whole world, with its deep history, world-class museums, incredible food scene, and unique blend of tradition and modern amenities. So it's no wonder why so many people are choosing to call Mexico their home. Now, before we get started, what you're going to learn in this video is not only about these neighborhoods, but also the average cost to rent a place, what amenities you have nearby, and some other characteristics about these neighborhoods that make them top contenders if you're looking to move to Mexico City, but you're really tired of looking in the Condesa, Polanco, and Roma neighborhoods. So what do you say? Let's get started. Ciudad de Mexico, or Mexico City, sits in the Valley of Mexico, which is also known as El Valle de Mexico. It has an altitude of about 7,300 feet above sea level, and the city is surrounded by mountains and volcanoes, including the iconic and famous Popocatépetl, or just Popo, as most locals call it. This unique geography gives it its mild climate, but also contributes to occasional air pollution, as you can imagine, because it is an active volcano. Historically, Mexico City was built on top of the ancient Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan. Originally built on a lake, the Spanish conquest in 1521 led to its transformation into what we all know today as Mexico City. Now, the city's deep historical roots can still be seen in many places, like the Templo Mayor and the historic center. But once you're actually living here, what is it gonna be like? Well, you might hear other cities have this amazing weather like Cuernavaca or maybe even Ajijic. But actually, I feel like Mexico City has the most pleasant weather out of the entire country. It has privileged climate that makes it an amazing place to live. Now, it's not extremely hot or freezing cold at any time of the year, and it does have an annual average temperature ranging in the 50s and 70s Fahrenheit. So really, it means no harsh winters or unbearable summers. And Mexico City enjoys cool mornings and evenings, but also a lot of sunshine, plenty of warm days, and thanks to the altitude of over 7,200 feet above sea level, again, it never gets really too hot. Now, you also see a growing international community. You see co-working spaces and network events to international restaurants and language exchange meetups. So it's easy not only to connect with locals, but also other expats. Now, the city is huge. I mean, it's ginormous. And every neighborhood is really like its own city. So today we're going to be focusing on 3 great neighborhoods to live in, starting with Del Valle, then Narvarte, and Álamos. In La Colonia del Valle, or in Del Valle neighborhood, it's located in the south central part of Mexico City, in the Benito Juárez neighborhood or borough. It's got easy access to major avenues like Insurgentes, División del Norte, plus a lot of metro stations and a lot of bike lanes, bus lanes, so it's really well connected to commercial areas, making it super easy to get around without needing a car. You're also close to Mexico City's historic center, and depending on traffic and the mode of transport, it's about a 15 to 20 minute drive to the city center, so it's really not ever really far away. Now, it's known for its peaceful, tree-lined streets, wide avenues, and well-maintained parks. It's one of the most sought-after areas to live in the capital. And unlike more touristy and lively neighborhoods like Condesa or Roma, Del Valle strikes a perfect balance between calm and access to urban life, but you're also very close to those neighborhoods like Condesa and Roma. Now, while it's a neighborhood with a strong local presence, there's also a growing community of foreigners, especially young professionals and families. And it's easy to fit in here. You can easily make friends and find culture and social activities. Plus, Because every neighborhood in Mexico, especially the central ones like Colonia del Valle, are really well connected to everything, it's very easy to live here without ever needing a car. Now, if you don't speak much Spanish, you can probably still manage with the basics, mainly if you use translation apps or visit places that are more popular with foreigners. However, for official paperwork, public transportation, small local businesses, and just everyday life, Spanish will definitely open a lot more doors, even the basics. So never stop learning Español, amigos. I mean, every word definitely helps you open more doors. So how much does it cost to live in this neighborhood? Well, the cost of rent in Colonia del Valle varies depending on the type of property and, of course, its amenities. For apartments, the rent ranges here anywhere between $850 to $1,500, with typical features like 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 2 parking spaces. In Colonia del Valle, both houses and apartments are common, though the availability of apartments is usually more widespread due to its central location and urban development. The houses in this area are mainly traditional or colonial style with larger lots compared to apartments. However, the houses in Colonia del Valle are becoming increasingly rare, as many have been replaced by apartment buildings due to the high land value and demand for housing in the area. If you do find a house that is for rent in this neighborhood, you can probably expect to pay $40,000 or more a month, depending on the size, where it's located, and the newness of it. Now, the vibe in the neighborhood is charming and lively. Again, it has wide tree-lined streets that are well maintained. The sidewalks here are perfect for walking, exercising, or just having a coffee while watching the hustle and bustle of the city. And speaking of coffee, who doesn't love a good cup of coffee or tea? Well, Colonia del Valle is full of cozy cafes and delicious restaurants. Locals and visitors love spending hours chatting with friends or working from one of these outdoor terraces. Some of the most popular spots are Café Toscano and Panadería Rosetta. Now, another reason that you'll love Colonia del Valle is because there's great public transportation. There's plenty of grocery stores and lots of parks. If you're planning to move to Mexico for a better life, this area offers everything you need to settle in comfortably, especially if you love big cities. So how will you get around? Well, you can reach Colonia del Valle using the metro, Metrobús, and other local buses. A metro ride will cost anywhere between 5 pesos on any line, and a Metrobús will cost 6 pesos really on any line. If you prefer ride-hailing services, which are apps like Uber and Didi, these are easy to find and popular with locals and visitors, and truly probably a safer alternative to getting around that doesn't cost a lot of money. If you like biking, you're in luck. Colonia del Valle has bike lanes and access to the city's EcoBici system. You can get a full year of EcoBici for 545 pesos, which is less than $30. And this gives you unlimited 45-minute rides. That's less than 2 pesos a day. You also have several supermarkets, including Chedraui, La Comer, Walmart, Bodega Aurrera, and you'll also find smaller stores that sell fresh local products, plus organic and gourmet options. And if you need something quick, there are convenience stores like Oxxo and 7-Eleven, which are open 24/7. Now, for bigger shopping trips or entertainment, you have 5 main malls, which are Galerías Insurgentes, and it has hundreds of stores, including fashion and tech stores. Then you also have Plaza Universidad, the World Trade Center, which is a modern complex with shops and a famous landmark. You also have City Shops del Valle. This is great for dining, movies, and even has a gym. Another great benefit of living in this central neighborhood is that you'll find a lot of hospitals in and around the area. Some of the most notable ones are Hospital 20 de Noviembre, which has a 24-hour emergency services. There's also Hospital Médica Sur, which is one of the highest rated hospital chains in Mexico. And for everyday medicine, you have easy access to major pharmacy chains like Farmacias del Ahorro, Farmacias Similares, Farmacias Guadalajara, also Farmacias San Pablo. So really, Colonia del Valle has it all: convenient transportation, great shopping, green parks, and easy access to healthcare. If you're searching for a comfortable place to live, this neighborhood might be just right for you. And again, rents are ranging anywhere between $850 to about $1,500 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that usually has all bills paid. Now moving on to Colonia Álamos. Well, you'll love this neighborhood if you want a quieter, more traditional feel. Yet, you're still going to be minutes away from the excitement of Mexico City. From Álamos, it usually takes 15 to 20 minutes by car or public transportation to reach trendy areas like Condesa, Polanco, or Colonia Roma, which are where a lot of trendy restaurants and bars and those kinds of things are. But in Colonia Álamos, you'll enjoy a laid-back vibe here without missing out on the fun across town. Plus, it's also a lot more affordable than some of those other trendy neighborhoods. Now, Álamos has a relaxed atmosphere filled, again, with tree-lined streets and a blend of classic Mexican homes and modern apartments. Now, even though you're close to downtown, it really does still feel very peaceful. To get around, we really do recommend either walking or using taxis or Uber and Didi. These are common and very convenient and relatively safe. Now, you do not need a car to live here because sidewalks are well maintained and they're really easy for walking. To rent in this neighborhood, you can expect rents to go anywhere between $500 to $800 a month for a 1-bedroom, all bills paid, usually furnished, or you can expect to pay $800 to $1,200 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment that's, again, usually has all bills paid and usually comes furnished. If you did have to pay for electricity or other utilities, you can expect to pay anywhere between $30 to $60 a month. For water, about $15 a month. For gas, you're looking at $10 to $20 a month. And for internet, you're looking at anywhere between $30 to $50 a month, depending on your speed. Now, one of the things that characterizes Álamos is that it has some really nice local markets. You have the weekly tianguis that sets up, and you also have Mercado de la Colonia Álamos. Now here you can buy fresh fruits, vegetables, meats, spices, cheeses, and more. You also have Parque Delta, which is a big mall just 5 minutes away by car with many stores and other restaurant options. And then again, you also have a lot of convenience stores scattered around, which are Oxxos and 7-Eleven, and these are usually open 24/7. Now, in Álamos, apartments are more common, but you'll also see charming houses with small gardens or patios, so it's not unusual to be able to rent one or the other. Now, locals often gather in parks to exercise, relax, walk their dogs, and Álamos has around 8 parks nearby. One of the most popular is Jardín Santiago, which sits in the center, and it's perfect for a peaceful walk or for taking your furry friend outside. Now, on weekends, you'll see people at markets or enjoying a meal or at nearby cafes. So you see, Colonia Álamos gives you a calmer side of the city while keeping you very close to hotspots like Condesa, Polanco, and Roma. You can enjoy a slower pace but still reach the best of Mexico City whenever you want. It's never too far away. Now let's talk about Narvarte. So if you're looking for a family-friendly neighborhood that still offers easy access to Mexico City's busiest areas, Narvarte might just be your ideal location. Not only is this neighborhood nice and more affordable than some of the trendier ones in Ciudad de Mexico, but it's also very centrally located. It sits in the Benito Juárez borough, and just in case you are wondering, Mexico City is divided into 16 boroughs, which are called alcaldías. These boroughs have their own local government and include well-known areas like Benito Juárez, Coyoacán, Cuauhtémoc, and Miguel Hidalgo. Now, Narvarte sits just south of downtown, and it usually takes around 15 to 20 minutes by car or public transport to reach spots like the historic center, Roma, Condesa, or Polanco. Now, most residents in Narvarte are locals who have been around for years, giving it a neighborly feel, and you won't find a lot of foreigners or digital nomads living in this neighborhood. But, that might be changing because we do see a growing number of expats, often younger professionals, who are asking about Narvarte because it's more affordable than the trendier areas, and it's also still really well connected while being safe. So if you're wondering what housing costs, rent for a one-bedroom apartment will range anywhere between $500 to $700 a month. Two-bedroom apartments go anywhere between $700 to $1,000 a month. Then electricity will cost you anywhere between $30 to $60 a month if it's not included in your rent. And water, $15. Gas will range anywhere between $10 to $20, and internet will go anywhere between $30 to $50, depending on your speed. Now, most of the housing in this area are apartments, but you'll also see some medium-sized houses with small gardens or patios. And to rent a house in Mexico City is not that common, especially in a centrally located neighborhood like one of the ones that we are mentioning. If you do find homes, you will notice that their prices tend to be significantly higher. Okay, now real quick before we get into the next part of the video, I know that moving to Mexico can seem very overwhelming because you might be doing a lot of research online and there might be a lot of conflicting information, some things that are just not relevant or some things that are just completely untrue. So I know that this adds to the frustration and it might be overwhelming to know who you can trust or where to get started. So that's exactly why we created the Move to Mexico free cheat sheet. Check out the link in the comments down below to get this free resource that gives you a lot of great information to know before moving to Mexico. For example, we give you some information on knowing if you qualify for residency, what are some healthcare costs and options, how to hire the right people, can you actually afford the move, how to plan a scouting trip, and what are some insights that no one tells you. That way, you know if moving to Mexico is right for you. So check out the link in the comments down below. Okay, now let's get back to the video. Now, one of the biggest draws of living in Mexico City is not only because it's probably one of the best cities in the world, but also because you really don't need a car to live here. Every neighborhood basically has everything that you could need, especially one of the neighborhoods that we're talking about in this video. Usually they are very walkable, well connected to stores, hospitals, and then if you do need to go further distances, you have Uber or Didi, you have taxis, you have buses, you have all kinds of public transportation. And Narvarte is very walkable. You do not need a car because there are wide sidewalks, there are nearby metro stations, there are buses, and then of course you have Uber and Didi, which are very easy to use. You'll find popular supermarkets here like Chedraui, Walmart, and Bodega Aurrera, and then you also have Oxxos and 7-Eleven for fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats. And then every neighborhood usually has their local tianguis, which is a street market that usually opens up one day a week and sets up for just the morning or mid-afternoon of the day. And you can buy things like fish, meat, cheese, spices, household items, and it usually has some of the best street food that you will find. So if you rent or if you actually end up living in one of these neighborhoods, find out where your local tianguis is because trust me, you will not want to miss out on their street food. Now, while Narvarte does not have huge parks, you can still enjoy smaller green areas to walk your dog or just for you to relax. Some of these include Jardín de los Perros and Parque de la Colonia Narvarte. You also have access to some hospitals nearby, offering top-notch medical services, and then you're also never too far away from some of the best hospitals in Mexico City, which, in case you don't know, Mexico City tends to have the best hospitals in the entire country. You'll also find pharmacy chains like Farmacias del Ahorro, Guadalajara, and similares throughout the neighborhood. So one big benefit of having a farmacia or a pharmacy nearby, like Farmacias Similares, is that they usually have a consultorio or a small private practice adjacent to the pharmacy. This is a huge benefit because the general doctor that operates in that consultorio or that small private practice usually charges a very small fee for a consult. Then they usually give you a prescription, which you can get filled very conveniently next door. So if you want calm, budget-friendly, and you want to live in Mexico City without missing out on popular spots like Roma, Condesa, or even the other nearby neighborhoods, Colonia Narvarte might be perfect for you. It's a cozy neighborhood with just the right mix of local flavor and modern conveniences. People in Narvarte enjoy a relaxed pace. I mean, think coffee shops, local restaurants, laid-back bars. You can easily visit bigger cultural spots in nearby neighborhoods like Coyoacán, or head downtown to see museums, markets, historic sites, or some event that might be going on in the city on one of the many events that goes on every weekend. Now, if you've never visited Mexico, get ready for an experience that goes way beyond typical travel. Now, discover something from every corner. Mexico City will surprise you with its culture and vibrant energy, so come with an open mind and a healthy dose of curiosity. And speaking of that, if you're ready to explore in person and come on a scouting trip, if you're interested in living in Mexico City, why not have a local show you around? Well, we offer private relocation tours to help you find the perfect neighborhood and making the move a lot easier. To learn more, just check out the link in the video's description. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What other Mexican cities would you like to know about? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video of these neighborhoods in Mexico City to be helpful, go ahead and give it a like. And again, don't forget to subscribe to Mexico Relocation Guide if you're enjoying these kinds of videos showing you what it's like to truly live in Mexico. This is not goodbye, amigos. This is just an hasta luego. My name is Mariana. You are watching Mexico Relocation Guide. I hope that you've enjoyed this tour of these neighborhoods in Mexico City, and I will see you all in our next video. Gracias. Nos vemos.